Oh, we need to turn off notifications.
Okay, we are live for episode 3.
Can you start? Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so, my drink. Okay, so episode 3 is essentially a recap of our timeline, right? Of how we got here, like the important parts. So, starting in 2012, I met him. 2014, you met him. And at the end of 2014, I found out that the two of you were together. In 2015, I moved from California.
Like the recap, I don't know.
Yeah, I moved from California
It's
to...
rough. I wasn't expecting this.
Wait, what do you mean?
I wasn't expecting to have to do the recap. It's okay.
That's, yeah, just so that everyone's caught up, you know what I mean? We're all on the same page.
It was...
Well, okay, so 2015, I moved away. 2016, you moved away, right?
2017.
2017, you moved away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 2015, I moved away. 2017, you moved away. 2018, I moved back.
2019, I moved back.
We moved back.
We had no idea any of this was going on.
2020, I moved away again with the 2 kids.
And then
2021, I came back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, at the end of 2020, I came back. Right at the end, the very end.
2021 to the beginning of 2022 was actually pretty good. Because that's when we were going out to the mountains all the time.
Like, good between us, yeah.
Well, I mean, in general, things were pretty good. I felt like things were pretty good. Like, as far as his alcoholism and stuff, it wasn't that bad. Like,
oh, like the abuse.
Exactly, yeah.
But there were still a lot of secrets and lies and manipulation happening in those years.
Oh, yeah. No, that never stopped.
But the abuse in those years was very minimal on his end,
right.
Correct?
We were seeing the kids a lot and, you know.
Correct. Even on my end, there wasn't, like, the financial abuse wasn't, like, it was minimal. I wouldn't call it that, but of all the years we were in an entanglement, I guess it was the hunkiest
of the Dories.
Okay, so then 2022, things kind of went off the rails, and 2023 is when you left, he took the kids, and then I was finally reunited with the kids, which brings us to 2024 and our agreement and everything that happened with that. So at the end of 2023, I was in Phoenix and I was working, right? I was there, I was trying to make things work. The kids were with him.
But you want to get them caught up, but what happened in between there, right?
Well, like, if they listen to my episode, then they're gonna know.
You told them? I forgot.
I talked all the way up until 2024, okay. Didn't you?
I don't know where I stopped, to be honest with you. I think it was
2024 is where it should have stopped.
I just don't recall you saying anything about how hard it was on you, you know? Like, it was really hard on you, what you went through, and...
Well, yeah, I mean, the extreme abuse in 2022 and 2023, like, I had our youngest, I didn't have any help with the kids while I was recovering from postpartum,
away, like, that part.
Oh,
Yeah.
That part wasn't that hard. I mean, it was hard, but the hard part was all the abuse I endured before that. Like, that was the
not
part.
Not being able to talk to your kids, though, that's, like, rough.
But that, I mean, it was rough, but it wasn't as bad as what I was dealing with before that. Like, and that's the thing is, okay, so we really need to touch on this because I had just had a baby in September of 2022 and was dealing with extreme abuse on behalf of the father of my children because he was really, like, entrenched in addiction at the time. And so 2023, I'm only
it up in Vegas.
Yeah, I'm only a couple months postpartum. I have no help. There's no financial help. There's extreme financial abuse happening. He's gone for weeks at a time. I'm far away from friends and family that are capable of helping. That's so annoying. Anyway, I'm far away from friends and family that are capable of helping. And I hit my breaking point. And I already just naturally as a human being have anxiety, just to start with. And I didn't really deal with postpartum depression or anxiety too bad with the other two kids. Like, that wasn't really something that was an issue for me. With the last baby, it was severe anxiety. Like, and then of course the abuse exacerbated that. So by the time, so all of that happened, when he took the kids, it was June of 2023, halfway through the year. So the whole first half of the year, I was struggling. And that's where we were building rapport because you left at the beginning of that year, like for good, which we touched on in the first two episodes.
And you were definitely like someone who helped me get through, I'd say, the hardest time in my life, for sure. Because you were the only person that I could talk to that understood what I went through, you know, or even a hair of what I went through, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so you were just, I don't know, I couldn't thank you enough for being there for me during that time because it was rough. You know, I mean, I was going through a lot at the time, you know, the worst self-esteem that I had had my entire life because I had been boiled down to nothing. And like, just dealing with like, not being the same person I used to be anymore and not feeling strong anymore and just feeling like a shell of a person, to be honest with you. I think I felt like a zombie.
There was still a lot of lies that you were like untangling at that time too. Because when we started talking, certain things were clicking into place for you, certain timelines were kind of being solidified, or things that you thought were happening. You're like,
that's what happened.
The pieces were falling together.
We had quite a few conversations in the kitchen about...
Yeah, well, and even before that on the phone.
No, wait, what?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and so all of that to say, by the time that I hit my breaking point and him and woman number 3 took the kids and just skipped town to a whole new state, like, just left me behind.
And again, wouldn't let you speak to them.
Well, and it's literally just all narcissism. It's all a power move, right? It's all about control. He thought he had full control of the situation. Little do they know, or I guess he was never really paying attention, because you have lived with me for a little over a year, and I'm pretty sure you're well aware of the fact that when it comes to my kids, like, I will go whatever length. It's like, I will go whatever length it takes. It doesn't matter who I'm squaring up with, where it's happening, when it's happening, like, you know what I mean? And I will go to every length for my kids. And so if I have to play the long game, I will play the long game. I will play the long game every time. Lucky for me, the long game didn't end up being, more than 6 months. It was the longest 6 months of my life, I will say. Just not knowing, like, how they were not being able to be their mom. Like, yeah, I mean, to having that every single day of their lives and then just having that completely ripped away.
I thought it was bad enough to, like, not only lose the person that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. That is such a joke now that I say it out loud.
It's okay. We can all laugh together with you.
no, I mean, like, that's what I thought. That's what I believed, you know? I was such a fool.
It's okay.
And then lose the kids, too, on top of that. Like, I was no longer the stepmom or whatever, and there was a third person involved, plus a bunch of other craziness. So things were spinning in my head, like, a lot.
Yeah, and I was still a little bit on my haterade back then. Just feeling bitter from how things worked out, you know what I mean? So it was nice to, like, have some solidarity with you and be able to, like, commiserate about the chaos and the abuse that his vendor brought forth to all of us.
Well, because he told both of us that we were crazy on a daily basis, you know, or all the, just the rants and the raves and all raves. I meant just the rants about
the hundreds of copy and paste text messages.
So psychologically damaging to receive the same text message over and over and over again for like sometimes a long time.
Yeah. So we came to a point. So, okay, all of this led up to, he took the kids out of the state to Arizona, to Phoenix, to live with this new woman. And so when I was contacted by CPS and I moved there, I got a job there and I moved there and I loved it there. I started building a community there. Like, I felt like I was, like, mentally, physically, like, starting to thrive. I was in my element. I loved living there. So it really, really, really bummed me out when there wasn't an option but to leave or be in a situation where I was, like, there was no other favorable option but to just uproot and leave. Like, it was not. But here's the thing. That was the narcissism at play, backing me into a corner on purpose, making it hard, making sure that they had full control of the situation.
Yeah.
And so instead of trying to roll with the punches, and be like, okay, yeah, like, let's do it your way, like, I'm sorry, you know, I was like, you can kick rocks, I'm gonna take my kids and go somewhere else, I guess. Right? Because, like, what other choice did I have besides to just let him have the kids?
There were things going on. It wasn't like, you know, I would have said, come clear across the country.
Oh, no, he was still being extremely abusive.
He got into a car accident, like, somehow again escaped going to jail.
Bro, how this man has escaped jail as many times as he has.
Understand. It's really wild. But, so, yeah, and there was not just that, but, like, I think you had told me at the time about the third woman, like, running in front of the truck, or was that, somebody told me that later, like, one of the kids.
Oh, that was the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah,
okay,
they were not, like, being
sane and, like,
okay. Yeah, doing the right thing.
And
with the
I
kids
wanted
by
the kids to have the best possible situation, and so I was like, I have a 3-bedroom house, like, you know, just come stay here until you get on your feet and figure things out.
Yeah, I think your exact wording was something along the lines of, you know, it's not a room for everyone, but I have enough space to accommodate you guys for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to try to start over and get on your feet and get away from him, I think that would be the best
thing
option
for everything. Yeah. I mean, everyone, just because.
Which was the best call, and honestly, I was really leaning on your life experience and, like, lived wisdom at that time, because I was like, What
on a wing and a prayer. On a wing and a prayer. No, I'm just kidding. No, I
felt
mean,
so lost.
I can imagine, like, you had been through hell and back in the past few years before that, so I can imagine where it would be really tough to just go, I'm gonna leave, the father of my kids with my 3 children and drive across country. But, and to be honest with you, when I said it too, I was like, oh God, did I really do this? Are we doing this? And so
so I want to pause right there, because when I left Arizona, I sent you like some really long like voice memo messages and explained to you like, hey, I know that you have taken care of the kids here and there. Like, I'm aware that you have a little experience, but I need you to like really understand what you're signing up for here. I did.
And of course, I was like, oh yes, like I've watched them before. It's fine. Like, anyway.
It's a whole different story when it's like all day, every day, no break.
Yeah. And you're not getting laid.
Neither one of us are getting laid, because in case anyone was curious, no, we are not romantically or sexually involved. And that is something that's like...
She's like my sister.
Yeah, literally. We're like best friends and sisters. Like, it's so funny, because had he had it his way, I mean, sister wives locked in for sure, for sure.
Could you imagine if we were telling a completely different story?
Right.
Like, oh,
Sister
yeah,
Wives podcast.
He's great. We have all these kids and we're so happy.
I fucking doubt it. Wow, what a different timeline that would be indeed.
Yeah.
But not completely out of the picture just because of how things ended up between us. Because, right, he worked so hard to create triangulation for us to, like, not necessarily hate each other, because I never hated you, but I just
not
was like,
to interact.
Yeah, we just didn't interact. And I will be honest, there were points where I was like, I don't owe her anything. I don't know her. She's not my friend. I don't know her. Like, that's the father of my child.
Yeah.
I don't fucking owe her anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when it came to
like,
intimacy with him, or just anything, like financial requests, like when he would be like, I can't because blah, 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 or this is coming up, or this got spent on this. And if any time it had anything to do with you, like, I think there was one time where he was like, I can't because I have to save for the vacation. And I was like, or you're going to send me the money that I need for the shit for your kids, because that is not my priority or my problem.
Yeah, but I mean, after all the things that I did over the years, I bought so many Christmas gifts.
Oh, yeah. And listen, when you left in Vegas, you sent, I think, Madeline a birthday gift, our oldest, right?
Yeah,
or someone.
And I also bought the baby shower gift for him to give to you. Like,
originally in the very beginning.
Oh, he's down on his luck, and like.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was kind of down on his luck. Let's be honest.
And I was like trying to be
so
helpful, because he said he didn't have money to get anything, and like. Anyway.
You saved that hoe for sure. You did.
Anyway,
Captain Save a Hoe over here.
I don't make a habit of it.
Only my ex and his baby mama, but nobody else.
Oh my god.
But no.
After you left, let's see, a bunch of people that have come before you guys too. So.
And that's the thing. It's like, at this point, your generosity definitely is like sometimes I do feel like we have well overstayed our welcome, but we'll discuss that on future episodes of the podcast, like things that have come up that have made it hard for us to do what we're doing, or resources that we thought were available to us that would make it easy for me to get on my feet and become stable a lot faster than I've been able to.
So much to discuss still.
It's a lot. So, but the thing is like when
Plus some more tea.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because what I was saying is when you had left originally, when you found out about baby number 3, you sent some sort of gift. I think it was like a birthday gift or something. And at that time, although we had a couple of civil interactions, we still were not friends. We had no relationship, right?
Yeah.
So I had no, like, issue about, like, clowning on you. Like, I was like, what the fuck is this bitch doing sending birthday gifts when she already broke up with this guy for the last time, supposedly, and left? Like...
When was this now? Wait.
When I was pregnant with baby number 3, after you had found out, I think you sent our oldest a birthday gift or something.
Oh, well, because I was
remember.
in Madeline's life so much that I just
You broke up with their dad and left because he's a cheating piece of crap. So why are you still sending our kids gifts? But here's the thing.
I separate your kids from him. So
thank God you do, which is once again part of what led us here. But I didn't know you personally at the time, so I didn't know that was genuinely coming from like a very like you are just a giving, like sweet, just like very selfless person. Like you love to gift people and make them feel loved, and like
making people smile.
It's a big part of your personality, which is wonderful, but like it just is not, to me, anytime in the past people were gracious towards me or like seemingly gave extra, there was some sort of sinister thing behind it. Yeah. So for me, I was like, what is she trying? What game is she trying to play? This is weird, bitch, get a life.
A lot of people are like that.
I did. But the thing is like, because I have used TikTok as my diary for the last half of this adventure since 2020, essentially, there are videos on the timeline that kind of show like the mental process that I went through, from like being like, oh, he's the greatest and I love him, to, fuck him, he left me, to, well, hee ha ha, I know no one else gets it, but we're back together again, to, why is this crazy bitch still calling my boyfriend? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's all documented.
There was a lot of like, yeah, I definitely had all of those same thoughts, like, just so crazy.
But that is a testament to... truly to the manipulation that you experience under narcissism.
Let's give credit where credit is due. That person clearly was able to handle a ridiculous amount of stress and not completely crumble. He was juggling everything under the sun. I have never seen anyone... It's like, no wonder you're so stressed out. You got 3 different chicks, plus God knows how many others.
Plus a big, badass, like, super important job, like, on top of it all. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know how. It's insane.
Career popping, fucking promotion every year or two, just climbing the ranks.
And it was like watching Jim Morrison go down or something. Like, he was wild.
From the Doors? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Because he was wild. He was like dragging me all over Vegas on Adderall and alcohol. Like, I mean, he showed up to a work dinner. Did I say this already?
I think so,
I did, yeah.
Just, it was chaos. But that's the thing, is like...
It was a lot of
I don't know much about Jim Morrison and his... tumble into.
I don't think he actually tumbled that crazily, but I'm just saying he went out with a bang, but
Yeah. So the crazy thing about all of this is, since we've been living together, there has still been attempts at communication with him, civil communication, right? Attempts. And on his end, there have still been attempts at triangulating the two of us. He'll text me, he'll text you, he'll text me, he'll text you.
I don't know how you deal with Kylie's craziness, and he says the same thing to you about
you're living with my psychotic ex-girlfriend, and it's not going to work out in your favor.
Oh my God, he loves saying that.
He says you're mooching.
My therapist
You're mooching off of my psychotic ex-girlfriend. I'm like, well, I guess she must be pretty crazy because I'm not mooching. She offered, and I'm paying her back at least a chunk of it. Granted, not as much as I wish I could. If I win the lottery, girl, I got you.
It's fine. I care about the children.
At the end of the day,
I want them to have
that's where I was going with that. Is at the end of the day, even if I was mooching and you were psychotic and I am crazy and I'm using you, and let's give him the full benefit of the doubt, right? He is the most truthful person on earth, and right, everyone else in the world is fooled. Everyone else in the world has the wool over their eyes.
That's what he would seem to believe.
Right, and that's why we're hypothetically seeing it from his point of view. Even then, all of this is for the benefit of the children, and they are thriving and they are happy. They're getting counseling. They're in all the services that they need. They have a pediatrician. They've been to the dentist multiple times. They have another appointment coming up. Like, they are being
diagnosed.
They are being cared for better now in the past year and some change that we've been with you than they ever have. Because even at the best that it was with him, there was still minor bits of abuse that poked through that made it impossible for me to get ahead and stay consistent with what they needed outside of immediate at-home demands.
I meant to say Jacob. Yeah, no, I agree.
But it's one of those, like, even if he was right and he was telling the truth and we're crazy and terrible and horrible and blah, 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 whatever, right? The fact of the matter,
the kids, like, we've been like,
they're happy.
Please.
Yep.
Please.
We check in with them regularly.
100% honest.
Yeah. Well, and their counselors check in.
Are you happy here? If you are not happy, you know that you can always go and be with Daddy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
Absolutely. And the thing is, we check in with them relatively often to a point where it's like, even when they get upset sometimes, they'll be like, I don't want to be here. And we're like, okay, that's fine. We can get you to Daddy and woman number 3. And you can go live there with your new, sibling. And we can change it up. And that's okay. And I'll come see you. And it's an adamant and immediate no every time. Even when they're their most upset and they say, I hate it here. I don't want to be here. Blah, 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 you're so mean. Okay, that's fine. Well, you can go live with Daddy. No! No, please, no! So that in and of itself speaks
not
volumes.
Laughing. It's just unfortunate.
It speaks volumes.
This is not what we wanted for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you wanted to go be free and live your goddamn life and be free of all of this chaos. And thank God you stepped back in, because who knows what it would be like if you hadn't. And we have cultivated a great friendship out of things. And I love you and I respect you so much. And, we'll be probably vacationing together as a family when the kids are adults. Low key, you know what I mean? Like,
I hope so.
But even if not, let's just say we fall out of touch. Let's just say long term, okay? And you walk away and in 20 years you haven't heard from us in a decade. Let's just say, okay? At the end of it all, you can look back and fondly say that you made the biggest difference in their lives than anyone besides me.
Well,
no. There's no questioning.
I appreciate that. I'm not needing any accolades.
It's not about the accolades, though.
It's
about what, like, doing what is best for them to help them grow and thrive and to keep the struggle as minimal as possible.
That's what I care about more than I can say.
And because of that, you have played the biggest key role besides me. Even bigger than their father, because at this point, I hope it changes, but
but yeah,
we'll see. But really and truly, though, you and his sister both pointed out to me that even when they were with him, you were the one providing the care the majority of the time. And that has been the case probably since the first day that you've been around the kids.
It certainly was a lot easier, because I could ask for help bringing up something, a piece of luggage, but most of the time I ended up doing all of it anyway. But I'm just saying, like, he did do some things here and there, so he wasn't like completely
But he wasn't being
reckless.
a dad. He wasn't being a parent. He wasn't actively handling his responsibilities.
I mean, there's times when
he was pushing them off on you.
They would go walk, or they'd play like skateboarding on the skateboard or whatever. But I sound like a grandma. They would be playing on the skateboard. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, there were times when he was doing things with them. I just think that he wasn't as present as he could have been.
And should have been.
Yeah, that's the
Just
thing.
like I'm not as present currently as I should be, because I'm battling a lot of things mentally. I'm trying to figure things out and get things in line, and I love to check the fuck out on my phone. You know what I mean? But I never get a break. It's 24/7, 365.
That makes
so
sense
it's
to
like,
me.
you know.
But yeah, I mean,
but even still, it's one of those like.
Well, they had them 24/7, but they only had them for what, 5 months or something?
Yeah, like 5 months before I came
But
back.
then also we need to dive into more details though on that next time, because it's a lot. It's just a lot once we start diving into that. I feel like we should cut this episode shorter than normal, unless you have.
But what you said about diving in, I mean, that's basically all I wanted to cover, and that's kind of what I've been alluding to is just the rest of the season is going to be us talking about our experiences, good, bad, and indifferent, regarding just cohabitating, getting to know each other, raising the kids together, his absence,
I was going to say something from the Arizona situation.
Oh, what?
Well, just there's still so much stuff to discuss from that. Like,
why?
Well, I mean, did you tell them that he solicited you
Yeah.
You did tell them.
You told them.
Oh, I did.
On episode 1.
Oh, wow. What the heck? Okay, I thought for sure that you had said
Yeah,
that.
we've gone over the whole history. Now it's about us.
And the CPS came there to that house?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And I tried to go to the courts and get custody of my kids and do all that the right way. And unless you can physically serve somebody, it's literally impossible to do that. And of course, he's really, really fucking good at eluding the law. And I don't know how he skirts it, but he just does. And so I was never able to properly serve him.
Other family member's address, and then the mail just piles up, so it's like he got it, but people don't know that he got it.
Well, and with what I was trying to do, you have to serve them in person.
Oh yeah,
because it's like a very quick like within 10 days, like blah blah blah, whatever.
Right.
So I couldn't serve him, so I was kind of stuck. And that was like a huge part also of you being so willing to help me, is that I was trying to do things the right way through the courts, and it wasn't working in my favor, and it was taking too long for me to be able to get my kids back. And I knew that if I continued to play his game, I would probably lose my kids indefinitely, because I wouldn't be able to gain enough of a footing to fight back, right? Because woman number 3 has a career in law. She knows what she's doing. Like, there's money and there's knowledge behind his side of things, right? And so even now still, like, he'll try to use that as a little bit of a threat, like, well, just you wait, you wanted to take it to court, and so now you just wait, like, you're gonna regret that. Like, am I though? Really? No, I'm not going to, but let's move on from that. I digress. But all of that to say is, like, everything that happened in Arizona, that was a very short period of time. I was there for just under 8 weeks total. And
well, I just meant that, like, you know, there was definite news from the kids about the fact that the baby was kept in a pack and play all the time for the most part, right? And
oh yeah. I mean, same as when you were with him, the parenting was very minimal. And so obviously she didn't step up in the same ways that you did, and so everything was very minimal. There was a lot of neglect happening, which is why CPS was involved, I guess, on their behalf. But it's because they don't know how to be full-time parents. Well, now they're getting a little taste of it, aren't they?
Yeah.
But at that point, they didn't know how to be full-time parents, much less of 3 children of that age gap. You know what I mean? You've got an infant to a double digits almost. And that is, I mean, the skill set, the mental capacity, the consistency, the communication that takes day in and day out. You've seen it. Now you know, right? Because when I was on my way and I was like, hey, I left, I'm packed, we're on our way, but I just want to make sure that you know, like, what you're fucking signing up for, you know? And you know, you had an idea, but
it's fine, come on.
It's been a lot. There have been things that have come up that you're like,
to take care of everything on the way over, right? I mean, there was a lot of things, like Jack got sick and Jacob, sorry.
No, you're fine. No, the kids, the littlest was sick. I was sick. I was like, I felt like I was gonna, like, not make it. I will put it that way. I really felt like I was not gonna make it. I was so sick. Especially the last leg. And you were like, just make, she said, I was like, I need like an extra day or probably 2. Honestly, I need like 2 extra days. And she's like, no you don't, because there's a storm that's going to catch up to you. You need to just get here now. And I was like, I'm so sick. And she's like, keep driving, bitch. I'll send more money for Robitussin. But we got here, we beat the storm, and we've been happy and comfortable ever since. You know what I mean? So
lots of things happened along the way, but we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a fun adventure, and we're excited to share all of it with you guys, and that's the whole point of this podcast. And next week, we will dive into the first part of the struggles that we have come across since
trying to
moving in together
with your ex's ex. Yep.
Hi guys, thank you for showing love. We will have the replay available Monday at midnight per usual.
YouTube.
Yep. YouTube and Spotify for podcasts. Tap in, share with your friends, listen to the replays, and we'll see you next week at 9 p.m.
Here, you take one.
Oh.